Basic English grammar relies on the subject-verb-object word order to guarantee clarity. It is a linear sequence that dictates how we decode meaning in a standard sentence. This diagram represents that baseline structure. Each block, subject, verb, and object, is locked into its expected position. High-level academic and professional writing frequently breaks the sequence, rearranging and expanding these blocks into complex front-loaded configurations. Advanced writing functions through the deliberate fracturing of standard syntax to dictate how a reader processes information. These structural shifts serve three core functions: achieving emphasis, mapping non-veridical reality, and maximizing syntactic economy. Developing a command of these structural deformations enables the level of persuasive, expert communication required in complex discourse. We begin with emphasis. Placing negative adverbials at the start of a sentence establishes a formal and persuasive tone. Isolating the limiting condition at the beginning of the clause forces the reader to acknowledge the restriction immediately. This fronting triggers a mechanical shift. The subject and the auxiliary verb must swap positions, signaling the change in rhetorical priority. Spoken English often relies on heavy vocal stress to emphasize a specific identity. Pronouncing the definite article, asking, "Are you the Paul Newman?" provides immediate tonal impact. But written English requires different mechanical tools to achieve this. Structural inversion serves as the writer's tool for emphasis, replacing vocal stress by physically prioritizing the most critical information within the sentence. Clefting offers another method for controlling focus. It involves dividing a standard sentence into two distinct clauses to spotlight a specific data point. In this diagram, a neutral sentence is reconstructed into an it cleft. The time frame is pulled to the front. This architecture relies on a consistent formula: the pronoun it, the verb to be, the spotlighted information, and a that or who clause. The pseudo-cleft serves as an alternative, using question words like what to move the primary focus to the absolute end of the sentence. By delaying the most important information until the final word, the writer creates a sense of revelation, focusing the reader's final attention on the most critical fact. Cleft sentences function like a camera lens, blurring the surrounding syntax to sharpen the focus on a single deliberately isolated detail. Beyond emphasis, grammar allows us to map events that haven't happened. This is the aurelius, the realm of hypothetical scenarios. The subjunctive mood is the primary marker of the aurelius. Common in historic texts like the King James Bible, it is often viewed as purely archaic. However, the mandative subjunctive remains a functional mechanism in modern English for expressing professional demands, requirements, or desires. The mechanic is specific. Standard verb inflections are dropped after predicates of obligation, leaving only the bare form of the verb. Compared to the indicative mood, the difference between a hypothetical demand and a statement of fact depends on a single letter. By breaking normal tense rules, the subjunctive signals that the clause describes a theoretical situation rather than a verified reality. Standard conditional sentences are typically limited by chronological constraints, linking a condition and its result within the same time frame. Advanced writers use mixed conditionals to decouple these timeframes, linking a past hypothetical action with a present counterfactual consequence. This sentence architecture blends the rules of the third and second conditionals to create a temporal bridge. We can parse the structure by its two timelines, the past condition and the present result. Timeline manipulation can be combined with inversion by removing the word if, creating an even more formal tone. An inverted counterfactual, such as had he booked the room, he wouldn't sleep at the camp, allows for high precision in formal writing. Mixed and inverted conditionals provide writers with exact temporal control, allowing them to project alternate histories onto current scenarios. The final architectural pillar is syntactic economy, the practice of maximizing information density by compressing complex ideas. Standard relative clauses often contain redundant elements that slow the reader's progress. We compress the structure by removing the relative pronoun and the verb to be, leaving a tighter, more direct phrase. A secondary rule for active verbs requires a conversion into a present participle to maintain the logical connection within the shortened clause. Another tool for compression is the advanced agentless passive. While basic writing guides often discourage the passive voice, advanced writers use it to erase the actor and shift the reader's focus entirely to the result of the action. Deleting agents and pronouns completely removes low-value syntax, ensuring the reader processes only the most critical data points. The nominative absolute participial construction represents a highly efficient form of syntactic compression. Consider a narrative involving a public figure, where we need to frame sequential events with precision. This diagram shows the absolute clause in action. It functions as an independent modifier without the need for a conjunction. The structure is simple, a noun phrase paired directly with a participle. It operates without linking words like because or after. Absolute clauses allow writers to attach causal conditionals to an event with the minimum possible structural overhead. Syntactic mastery allows for the physical rearrangement of a sentence's foundational pillars to suit a specific rhetorical goal. Proficiency in advanced English is defined by the ability to manipulate this architecture. Inversion and clefting control focus, the Irrealis maps alternate possibilities, and absolute clauses forge maximum efficiency. Analyze the academic and professional texts you encounter to identify the structural deformations that give those arguments their authority.